Shalom, beloved family. It's your girl Sophia Spiritual Light. We're here with another lesson. This is going to be about the evil eye. And Sister Pat did a live stream last night where she was talking about, what the evil eye is, how people are using it and so on and so forth. And so, me, I never really thought about the evil eye, seeing it come up a few times, but I never did any research. So I went, first of all, I looked at the symbols, which I'll pull those up, a couple of them, at the end and show you guys what I found. But, um, I went, to my favorite free book website, which is archive.org, and just tried to see, well, what is this thing? What is going on here? And this is amazing information because, one of the sisters said to me, I needed some more protection. And I really didn't know what I needed protection from because I don't interact with that many people. Very, very, very few people even know where I am or how to find me or anything like that. So, part of the problem is when you don't know what you need protection from, it's kind of hard to find the right protection. But reading about this evil eye gave me an understanding of what I personally need protection from. So, I'm assuming that, people who follow me might also be interested in obtaining this kind of protection. And another thing that this made me think of was I hate to keep going back to Elder Elman, but that video is so profound that he did in so many different ways. But in his when he was describing his sigil, he said that they were eyeballs, and on the side, basically the corners, they're like the corners of the eye. And so that just made me think about that just got me thinking about eyes in general, so when first I'm thinking about eyes, the way he describes the eyes in his sigil, then next thing you know, Sister Pat is doing a video about the evil eye, and I'm like, well, that can't be by accident. There's got to be a there for me. And of course there was a there, you know how it is. And so we're just going to go over a few different things, and I'm going to try not to make this video too long, but I do want to read through some of this information so that you can have at least of an understanding like I have. So all right, so we're going to go to my handy bookshelf here, and we're going to start with we're just going to go in order here. And this book is called Beware the Evil Eye. And it's the evil eye in the Bible in the ancient world. And we're just going to read a few of the first pages because I think that this gives a good amount of information that will help get us started. And then once I do a deeper dive into this, we'll probably do another video. So, it says, in his celebrated Sermon on the Mount, Jesus of Nazareth makes reference to one of the oldest beliefs in the ancient world, the malignity of an evil eye, which is in Matthew 6:22, verse 23. If, however, your eye is evil, your entire body will be full of darkness. Another of Jesus' references to the evil eye appears in his parable concerning the workers of the vineyard and an eruption of evil-eyed envy, which is Matt 21 through 16. If you've been following me, you've read both of these basically because of the cards. Anyway, at the parable's conclusion, a generous vineyard owner chides disgruntled workers, envious of their fellow laborers. Is your eye evil because I am good? Matthew 20, verse 15. The Apostle Paul also mentions the evil eye in his emotional letter to the Galatians as he struggles with rival authorities for minor, wait a minute, for winning the hearts and minds of vacillating mission outposts in Galatia, Asia Minor. He writes impatiently and asks rhetorically, "O you uncomprehending Galatians, who has injured you with an evil eye?" That's Galatians 3, verse 1. Jesus and Paul are some are only some of the biblical persons commenting on the evil eye. Holy scriptures, in their original languages, contain no less than 24 possible, or blah, 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 contain no less than 24 and possibly more references of the evil eye, although this is obscured by most modern Bible translations. Nor is this belief in any way restricted to the biblical communities. Quite the contrary. Written and material evidence attests to the existence of this belief across the Mediterranean and Near Eastern worlds of antiquity, from Mesopotamian incantations and the amulet Egyptian eyes of Horus to the Bascania of the Greeks and the Fascinatio, mm, sorry, of the Romans to the Oyen Horror of the Hebrews and the Ophthalmos Poneros of the Christians. Belief in the evil eye haunted the ancient world, prompted the production of vast arsenals of amulets, engendered in an array of spoken expressions, gestures, and social customs, many of which are with us to the present day. The story of the evil eye is a theme of the human drama which weaves its way through history from a fictional New Jersey crime family, The Sopranos, and international rock stars Madonna, from deposed heads of state Manuel Noriega and the menacing look of American football linebackers, who's Ronnie Lott, to calamity-causing Italian popes, medieval witch trials to Jewish Talmudic wisdom, death-dealing rabbis, and the apotropaic practices of Jews and Christians of late antiquity, to the sermons and biblical commentaries of the Christian church fathers, to the words of Jesus and Paul and Israelite sages of the Bible, to the Greco-Roman, Egyptian, and Mesopotamian worlds of myths of petrifying glances, restored eyes of gods, and Sumerian incantations against the roving evil eye. Our study describes the belief. Okay, so let's go on to the next part. It says, what is this phenomenon called the evil eye? One recent writer opens his study with the astute observation: the evil eye is perhaps the most widespread, complex system of beliefs in the world and in history. I, I- did you know that? Yet, to anybody who is not a part of evil eye culture, the evil eye is an enigma. This book intends to unravel this enigma for readers who have never heard of the evil eye and its presence in the Bible. It also aims at providing more information to those who know a bit but want to know more. The concept of the evil eye is a millennia old, geographically widespread folk belief complex and one of the most widespread behavioral influences beliefs in the ancient world. This belief holds that certain individuals, humans, gods, demons, animals, and mythological figures, possess an eye whose powerful glance or gaze can harm or destroy any object, animate or inanimate, on which it falls. Through the power of their eye, which can operate involuntarily as well as intentionally, such as evil eye possessors, also known as fascinators, are thought capable of injuring, withering, or obliterating the health and life, means and sustenance and livelihood, familiar honor, and personal well being of their hapless victims. The evil eye is believed to harm nursing mothers and their babies, breast milk, fruit bearing trees, crops in the field, milking animals, and the sperm of men. All persons, things, and sound states of being, however, are deemed vulnerable, but especially children, the beautiful and successful, and what is most prized and essential to survival. The more attractive, beautiful, flourishing, and outstanding the object, the more likely an attack from an evil eye. So, let me ask a question right here. Let's take a brief pause. Number one, don't you think, just with this little bit of information, that we need to be protected from the evil eye? Don't you think that this is information we need to be looking at? Someone needs to be talking about, not just casually, but very seriously, because this is a very serious attack that I knew nothing about until Sister Pat brought it up in a live stream today. I had no idea this is what this was about. And when she talked about it, I knew it was serious. It was serious enough for me to go and look it up. And when I looked it up and found this, I was like, I have to just do a video on this. I can't wait to do all the research. I got to just present what I found. And we need to understand that this is, first of all, the one, I don't know how to say this. Upon reading this, it concerns me that our blessing could be delayed, not denied, but delayed. We could have to suffer even longer if we don't protect ourselves from this evil eye. And the reason why I say it like that, number one, we got the sigil that the brother Elder Elman brought, which is basically like an eye. Because you have the circle and it's got an X over it, so it's kind of like a protection from the evil eye in a way in itself. So, like I said, I have already made some of these sigils as little charms, and I'm going to start wearing one. But so because this particular sigil was brought back and it was brought to our attention on Monday, this makes me think that this is something that is that we need to start thinking about, because you have this red circle that goes basically through the whole thing, looking like an evil eye. And even though it doesn't represent an evil eye per se, it kind of is, you know, because it's xed out, it's like it's like a protection against it, for lack of a better term. And even you have the red eye that circles the corners of the eyeballs. I mean, because I'm looking at my sigil, I have one, the one that I made right in front of me. And you have the red eyeball that's circling around the corners of all of the different eyeballs, all the different side eyes, and then you have a big yellow X through it. And yellow is a color of Michael, and red is a color of Madim. So you have the red circle of Madim around all these different eyeballs with a big yellow Michael X through it. And then a Gabriel, sort of, just for good measure, separating it, the top from the bottom and then sides from the sides. So you have a lot going on in this sigil. And so again, this is anything, the more attractive, beautiful, flourishing, and outstanding the object, the more likely an attack from the evil eye. So we aren't aware of this attack that is going to come, if it hasn't already started. We need to be working on that. That just is just something you need to think about, not to be scared about it, but to properly protect yourself. Okay, so we're gonna go through a little more of this, and we're gonna go into the next book. Um, Let's see. Let's see. Now we're going to talk about who has it. Who can give you the evil eye? All persons and creatures of all classes and social ranks are deemed potential evil eye possessors, but especially those with unusual ocular features or physical deformity, those manifesting antisocial behavior, or strangers and foreign peoples. Now, didn't Sister Pat just talk about who a foreign person was? People who worship foreign gods are likely to be possessors of evil eye. Keep that in mind. Thank you, sister, for the drop on that. I would have never caught that. Not in a million years. Those who worship foreign gods. So, all of your Christian buddies out there are likely possessors of the evil eye and don't even know it. Okay. Foreign peoples. All right. Dangerous occasions include birth, marriage, and encounters with strangers. Encounters with strangers is a dangerous occasion. Okay, I'm sorry. We're not gonna get too caught up. I'm gonna try and keep this short. I already went longer than I wanted to. All right. Thought to be animated by some malevolent disposition such as envy, miserliness, greed, or malice, an evil eye is believed to convey, project, and cast forth particles of energy that damage or destroy the object struck. In some cases, it has been believed the evil eye is inherited. Wow, bloodlines, y'all, and can work involuntarily, injuring even loved ones and the evil eyed person, him or herself. When exercised voluntarily, the evil eye directs malice arising in the heart through the eye against external objects with the intent to harm others and destroy what makes them stand out or gives them pleasure. Holy Father. It can be the cause of illness or death to humans, especially children, mm, or animals, damage to crops or means of livelihood, loss of battles, contests, and ruin of reputation and honor. Persistent anxiety concerning the omnipresent danger posed by the evil eye has led to a variety of efforts to ward off or counteract this power through the extensive use of charms and amulets, words and gestures, the great majority of which are common to numerous cultures and periods from past to present. I didn't want to say that word because I have never said it before, so I'm going to skip it. Is that which is thought to possess power to repel and drive away threatening evil forces. Amulets, words, gestures are various forms of this thing. These will be itemized and discussed at various points during our study. Many of these things have been thought to operate according to the ancient principle of similia similibus, like influences like. So I'm not going to read that. Let's see if it's something else we want to read out of here. This is the characters. This is okay. We're gonna move on to the next book. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the next book because now it just gets into the culture of it. All right. So, this book is called The Evil Eye. Literally, that's what it's called. It's from 1895. We're gonna read this underlined part because I think that it. Actually, we're gonna read from the top of the page. The belief that there is a power of evil working, which is ejaculated, as Bacon says, upon any object it beholds, has existed in all times, in all countries. It was adopted and sanctioned alike by the fathers of the church, by medieval physicians, and by all writers on occult science. While in our own day it still exists among all savage, so-called savage nations, and even here in England in our very midst. Heliodorus makes Charicles say of its host, I fancy an envious eye has looked upon this man. Also, he seems to be affected much in the same manner as Char Charles Clea. Indeed, I think too, I replied, it is probable enough that he went directly after her in the procession. I don't know what that means, whatever. The origin of the belief is lost in the obscurity of prehistoric ages. The enlightened call it superstition, but it holds its sway over people of many countries, savage as well as civilized, and must be set down as one of the hereditary and instinctive convictions of mankind. The stories that might be adduced of the constancy of the belief in a blighting power of influencing other persons and of controlling events injurious to others, even in these days of boarding school enlightenment, are almost infinite. Here in Somerset, the pig is taken ill and dies. He was overlooked. A murrain afflicts of farmers, cattle. He goes off secretly to the white witch, that is the old witch finder, to ascertain who has overlooked his things and to learn the best antidote, because their farriers can't do no good. A child is ill and pining away. The mother loses all heart. She is sure the child is overlooked and is safe to die. Often she gives up not only hope, but all effort to save the child. The consequent neglect, of course, hastens the expected result. And then it is, oh, I knowed very well he would never get no better. Tid no good. Oh my goodness, this language. Skip it. This is no fancy or isolated case, but here, the last decade of the 19th century, one of the most commonest everyday facts. Um, okay, let's see. Oh goodness, overlooking. That's what this chapter is called. It was something else I wanted to. Here we go. Um, it was firm. This is the middle of the page, you guys. This book is called The Evil Eye, as I mentioned. It was firmly believed by all ancients that some malignant influence darted from eyes of envious or angry persons, and so infected the air as to penetrate and corrupt the bodies of both living creatures and inanimate objects. When anyone looks at what is excellent with an envious eye, he fills the surrounding atmosphere with pernicious quality and transmits his own envenomed exaltations into whatever is nearest to him. It has also been fully believed, both in ancient and modern times, that many persons, by the glance of the eye, have caused injurious effects without their consent and even against their will, so that in some cases mothers would not venture to expose their infants to the looks of their own fathers. Wow. Wow. Okay, so they say domestic animals are always in danger. Let me see. So it says, who can doubt that those ornaments were the exact prototypes of the identical half moons we now put upon our harness? We shall see later that these have been among the most potent amulets against the evil eye. All right, let's see what this book says about the amulets, because if I can even find it. I don't know if it has pictures. Oh, it does. I didn't get too far in this book. I was just like, oh, I'm going to read some of this thing. Um, that's not an amulet. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Oh, this is about that's not an amulet to protect. All right, let's see. This is quite an interesting book. Here we go. Um All right, so let's read some of this. Everybody is familiar with the lunar appearance, popularly known as the old moon in the arms of the new, which is a dark disk in which a dark disk is seen within the crescent. Precisely this phase was adopted as one of the most frequent quests to be seen upon the head of more than one of the Egyptian gods and goddesses. Thoth, or Tahuti, or Enoch, or Uriel, or a thousand other names, describe who weighed the souls when brought to judgment. In one aspect, he is the god of the moon, and Chonsu, the hawk headed, are both represented with the crescent and disk. Isis and Hathor, who is closely connected and sometimes actually confounded with her, bear the disk with the horns and the crescent much prolonged, as to assume the appearance of the horns of a cow. Hathor is often represented. Now, keep in mind this thing with the cow, because we're going to get back to that in a little bit. Hathor is often represented with the head of a cow on a human body, and is also frequently as a cow having a disc and horns on its head. At Philae, Dendra, and elsewhere, she is represented as beautiful, while at the same time she has sort of a half human, half bovine face. Hathor became in late Greek and Roman times completely identified with Isis. Isis is the female receptive principle of generation, also Eve. It is with the crescent and disc headdress that we now have due. Of course, the deities thus distinguished the crescent were moon gods, but in the case of the gods Thoth and Chonsu, the disc represented the sun also, from their intimate connection with Ra, the sun god of Egypt. Among the Greeks, who got much of their mythology from Egypt. Counterparts of Isis and Hathor were Artemis and Io, the latter whom became at length identical with Hera. All of these were symbolized by the crescent. Good Lord. All right, we're not going to read all of this. But look, that's those are the symbols, right? Okay, this is going into detail. I wanted to see about the let's see. Hmm. Let's see. We might go on to the next book. Boy, this book got a lot in it. Oh, and the Universal Mother. Good gracious. Okay, we're definitely gonna come back to this book. Let's go on. So in this book, all right, this book is called uh Ritual Magic Rituals of Black Magic, right? Okay, and so the reason why we're gonna go through this book is because once I read just that little bit out of those first two books, I said, first of all, I skipped this book. I was like, why do I want to know how to cast the evil eye? Why would I even want to know that? Then I got a little bit further down. I said, wait, how can you repel something you don't know how they do it? Like, if there's someone who's going to explain to me in their own words how they do it because they're trying to tell their fellow travelers how it's done, that may be information that's actually helpful. So that's how we end up in this book, right? And it's got a lot of weird stuff in it. I just skimmed through it and I was like, I think I'll skip most of this stuff for now until I'm ready to study something a little bit more in depth. But let's just see what it says about the evil eye. All right, and remember, this is black magic. Among the most basic forms of black magic, there's the evil eye. It consists in the power of the sight, cursing who is watched. The so called disgraces are a common known effect of the evil eye. Suddenly and short, in a short amount of time, those disgraces would fall on the unaware victim. It is something unconscious for most of it. You don't have to be a pledged or a magician. The power of the triggered effect is directly related to the dormant psychic powers of the launcher. So, this is why people with foreign gods are particularly those are particularly dangerous people to be around because these people can do this just especially if they're melanated. They have dormant DNA that will allow them to do this quite effectively, which is why the hidden hand, the hidden black hand, and the two-thirds have to go because they are the main ones who would be doing this kind of stuff on our people. So then it tells you all the names. We already read this. Okay. What does this hex consist of? This is probably one of the most common questions to the topic, and it doesn't have an appropriate answer. To give an answer, it is therefore necessary to clarify how luck works. In this context, luck indicates the psychological and magical conditions that surround someone in the present and future with positive events. Such condition depends on two factors. One, energy related. The aura has to work properly to make the stream of energies passing through the chakras has no issues. The aura, which the psychic energies it emanates, guarantees both sensitivity and an extrasensory potential outside the body. Two, the synchronization with the universe, a psychic state that allows the mind to intercept and understand in time what is going to happen soon. It is an innate ability today stressed by our daily lifestyle. Always, it anyway, uh, anyway, mm, represents one of the fundamental aspects of the future magician. The evil eye, therefore, consists of launching negative energies through the slight that will disturb the aura of the victim. It will interrupt their sync with the universe, making sure the victim himself will cause his disgraces without being aware of it. The victim will operate asynchronously with the surrounding universe. So when I read that immediately, I thought, This is what happened with my car because someone launched an attack at me and it got me out of sync with my normal routine for when I go up the road. I have a routine. I always follow it. And whoever launches attack at me, knowingly or unknowingly, caused me to get out of sync with my regular routine, which is go drop the kids off, then go over, to the place where I normally go to sleep. I've done the same thing every single time I've gone up there for the last 2 years almost now. And this one time I did something different. So something caused me to get out of sync with what I would have normally done. I immediately thought of that. And so that number one tells me I'm very much in sync with the universe. When things go well, is because I'm really, really in sync with the universe, which is good, with the most high. I'm on the right path. Second of all, that means that even if it was any little thing, any little itty bitty thing could come in and throw us off, because to me it had to been a small attack. I don't talk to people, I don't see anyone, I don't none of that stuff, so it had to been something that someone seen somewhere else, you know what I mean? And so that just made me think of that, and so I thought I would clarify. This is pretty much what I think happened to me. All right. So, how to protect yourself from the evil eye. There are different techniques with a range from using an amulet filled with our energies, which will work as a shield, attracting all the negativity. But nothing is more powerful than our own, you that other guy, with which you should have a great relationship developed during the time. Another way consists of understanding when such an evil eye is launched to immediately purify yourself. Okay, this is a book about black magic. They tell you to purify yourself after a proper comeback. Okay? So they are telling you in this book, you know, about black magic, that you have to respond with something. If it's got to be a response. Again, the whole idea of turning the other cheek, it's while if the person slaps you, you slap them back. And so, yeah, you're going to turn your other cheek while you slap them. Like, you cannot let somebody slap you in the face with an evil eye attack and not slap them back. At least return what they sent to you back to them, okay? They say come back, I would say return back, right? This will restore your energetic abilities. So when you don't respond, when you say, oh, I'm just going to love my neighbor, instead of saying, I'm going to send back what my neighbor sent to me, you are actually holding on to that evil eye attack onto you, because that's not how you respond to it. They are telling you how to respond to it in this book. The way you respond to it is you send it back to where it came from. You respond to it with a they sent you a spiritual attack, you respond with a spiritual attack, and you purify yourself. You do both. So that's why you say Psalm 51 every day. That's your purification. Always send evil back to where it came from. That's what you have to do. All right. To reject the negative energies, there are popular signs we will discuss in Appendix 1, um, or the customary discharging it on the ground by touching the iron. So let's take a look at the repel symbol. Now, okay, I'm not going to show y'all the symbol to send an attack. If you're that into it, find it on your own. So here's what this says. It is used to exercise any form of negative energy, including the evil eye, and has been canonically imported and diffused into metal by Ronnie James Dio. As many people will know, Dio learned the symbol from his Sicilian grandmother. Over the years, the meaning of the symbolism has taken on different transversal nuances, especially in the metal field. Today, it is a splendid magical value of the union of sharing of immense power. It should be noted that there is only one symbol to represent the horns of metal, which is 14114, and any variation is incorrect. Among the most common variants, 34114, with the thumb extroverted, has also been confused with the symbol of the horns. However, Many, however, stop here in the analysis of the sign, ignoring that it has a meaning and a magical, or rather, the other guy used. It is another, whatever that sign is, representing the trident. Okay, so of course, if you want to understand that, check out Brother Curimo's videos on Atlantis and all of that. Pure flaming power, infernal thunderbolt. It also represents the path to become the flame. This integration of the ego into madness. This is a magical sign of black power. This is a magical sign of black power. Holy smokes, which can replace a blade and or a stick. Whoever has the intellect to understand will understand. This sign has nothing to do with metal, but it has everything to do with black magic, or our magic, really. So, this is the symbol used to exercise any form of negative energy, not just the evil eye, any form of negative energy. And um, this is one of the most shocking things that I've learned, I would say, to date. Like, I've seen this symbol so many, many, many times. And every time I said, man, these people, that's evil what they're doing. Blah, 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 blah. Whole time, this is used to exercise any form of negative energy. Can you imagine how powerful we would be if we knew this at any point up to today? But now you know it. So, you know, I've already started like trying to make my hands do this, but it's much harder than it looks. Especially if you have small hands like me. I have crafter hands. I don't have hands to do this kind of symbols and stuff like this. So this was very, very shocking to me. So let's go on to the next book, which is okay, actually this is the last book. We're going to so, and the reason why we're going to talk about this again, in that last book, it mentioned that in order to rebalance your energy within the universe, you have to send the energy that is sent to you back. Until you send it back, you cannot rebalance your chakras, your aura, your energy field. Is just not going, which is why you always have to do these baths over and over again. You have to do these spiritual black holes over and over again. So much stuff you have to do over and over and over again, because you don't send the energy back where it came from. So this, I've in this book, I didn't tell y'all what the book was called. Um, Hold on, let me show y'all the cover to the book. And all these books free 99 on archive, okay? The Hoodoo Bible Magic Secret Sacred Secrets of Scriptural Sorcery, right? All right. So this is how you can send evil back. And this is just one page. Let's read it. 8 powerful psalms to reverse and send back evil. So this is not about um this is not about attacking somebody. Again, if you want to find out to attack people, you do that on your own time. We don't do that on this channel. This is specifically to send that mess back to the person who sent it to you. Okay, specifically. These psalms were written in times when the Israelites suffered crushing defeats and unspeakable atrocities, when they had been stripped of all support except for God. Sounds a bit familiar. They are cited to call down a justified reversal of evil to the sender, typically while burning a reversing or double action candle, crafting a mirror box or a singing doll, or name proper in a flame. These are serious psalms. They should never be employed lightly or in a frivolous matter, but with faith in the justified power of the Lord Almighty. Okay, so we have Psalm 6, Psalm 11, Psalm 12, Psalms 40, Psalms 52, Psalms 54, Psalm 69, and Psalm 79. It says, after reciting psalms of this gravity, is it important to seek God's forgiveness in case you have unjustly cursed an innocent person? Bathe or at least wash your face and hands with clean water, which you added hyssop herb, bath tea, hyssop oil, hyssop bath crystals. While you recite Psalm 51, purge me with hyssop. You may also drink hyssop tea. So This is how serious this is. If you have to do this, you need to make sure that you purify yourself afterwards. You got to do it. And of course, we also know a way of purifying yourself is with your salt water bath. So, your salt water rinse after your bath. So, we have to send this stuff back. I mean, I have been saying this fight fire with a flamethrower for a while, and that is true. That is really more true than I understood. And innately, I knew once we started learning this stuff, we were going to have to find out how to send it back. Because, again, if somebody is sending some kind of evil attack at you, you cannot just sit back and let them do it. Oh, let me show y'all the different evil eye. That's what I forgot. Okay, so this this is not a good one because it's hold on. My bad. It's not in English. Hold on. Let me find the one I was looking at that's actually oh here it is. No. Here we go. Okay, so this one is just not easy to see. That's why I was looking at the other one. No, I don't like that one either. Okay, let's look at this one first. This one's easy to see. So as you can see, these are all different kinds of the evil eye. And as you can see, you have hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, do no evil, think no evil, touch no evil, attract no evil, feel no evil, feed no evil. These are important things. These are helpful things to have. That's one set, and then the other set, we'll look at it even though it's a little fuzzy. Right? So if you have a dark blue circle on the outside of your eye, it's karma and fate protection, calm and relaxation to counteract charms or agitation, and it's to open the flow of communication. Light blue is general protections, broaden your perspective, learn new information, and solitude and peace. Black is power and prosperity protection to become inconspicuous, to open the door to mystery, to prepare for the unknown, and a restful emptiness. The brown eye is elements protection. So if somebody tries to attack you with the elements, a solid, wholesome feeling to blend with the background, a connection with natural earth and the stability it brings, and orderliness and convention. Dark green is happiness protection, meaning protecting your happiness, new state of balance, feel a need for change or growth, freedom to pursue new ideas, protection from fears and anxieties, connected with the demands of others. Light green is success protection, increased personal power, relaxation and enjoyment of life, and good health. Orange is happiness coral protection to spice things up when you feel time is dragging, to become more involved in something, to increase creativity, relief from things becoming too serious. Pink is friendship protection, calm feelings, to neutralize disorder, relaxation, acceptance, and contentment. Purple is protection, literally, to use your imagination to its fullest, to rebalance your life, to remove obstacles, to calm overactivity, to energize from depression. Red is courage protection, increase enthusiasm, interest more energy, action, confidence to go after dreams, protection from fears and anxieties. Violet is true love protection, to focus on personal issues, develop intuitions, to step outside everyday life and for something new and interesting way of viewing a problem. Solitude and inner communication. White is purity and virginity protection, to clear clutter and obstacles away, to start fresh from the beginning, to bring about mental clarity, purification of thoughts or actions. Yellow is health protection, clarity. What? All right. For decision making, relief from something, panic, nervousness, enthusiasm. Sharper memory, and concentration skills, protection from lethargy and depression. Gray is sorrow and security protection to emphasize your willingness to reduce intense energy of another color, to feel detached or isolated. A transparent eye is clarity, mindfulness, and sanity protection to completely to comply a neutral, non-invasive feeling. So all of these different things make a huge difference, and it's just a little thing that you can carry on you. Let me see if they got another. Okay, here's a good one. Are you affected by the evil eye? Here are some symptoms: withdrawing yourself from daily activities, hobbies, and loved ones, sudden laziness, sleeplessness, extreme negative reactions to smallest things, apathy, repeated bad luck and misfortune, random headaches that move from one part of the head to another, random loss of opportunities after talking about them, plans suddenly failing, random fits of rage, anxiety, destructive behavior, inability to focus, lack of mental control. I mean, these are all things that is like happens to people. Like, I mean, this is this is really shocking. This information. I looked up the symbol first and then I went, this is actually what I looked up first, and then I went backwards and said, well, what exactly does this thing mean? And as you can see, there's tons of like little artwork and stuff like that with the different hands. And another thing I noticed when I was looking this up is that this is a huge thing in the getting a tattoo of this is probably not such a bad idea, you know? I mean, this is some stuff that our people, should know, and other people know it, but our people don't. And it will work for us, if we would use it. And so I just say all these things to say that, we need to protect ourselves from this evil eye. If it hasn't already been attacking us, it will. And I feel like we have done a lot, but when you can identify a problem specifically, you can apply the specific solution. And so, while I do believe that the baths and all that stuff is very, very important and vital, if we can do something like this, like just get a evil eye symbol, charm or something like that and wear it, put it in your house, whatever the case may be, that's a way to protect yourself from certain things coming that otherwise they're just wide open. And the thing that you can do, like when I made my charms, I got my guardian angel to activate them. You know what I mean? Like you gotta you gotta layer on all of your skills. You can't just have one skill and that's the only thing you do. No, you layer your skills. So I actually got my since I was already having a conversation with the most high, I actually got him to activate my evil eye things too. So as soon as I get them coated and stuff, they'll be ready to wear, but they're already activated in my energy field because once you activate something, it's activated in your energy field. So these are already activated in my energy field. I'm already being protected. You know what I mean? And so again, you don't have to be it don't have to be no complicated solution. You can, what do I always say? Start with what you have. So if you have a piece of paper and some colored pencils, you draw that thing on a piece of paper, consecrate it, consecrate it like you would anything else, put it in your purse, put it in your wallet, put it somewhere. You know what I mean? Like consecrate it and put it on your altar. Consecrate it and put it underneath your pillow if you can't sleep at night or you're having problems and issues with that. Consecrate it and like I said, put it in your purse, hang it on your wall, whatever you have to do to get yourself some protection. That's where we are right now. I mean, I'm going to make a bunch of these probably over the weekend and get some into different rooms in the house and get some around my girls and stuff because I just didn't know how prevalent this thing was. And the fact that you don't even have to be initiated to use it is terrifying. And Levi had said that, but I didn't realize how what it actually did. So shout out again to brother Black Magic. He had Dr. Alim, I think his name is on last night to talk about the Arthur's Roundtable, King Arthur's Roundtable, and he described in detail about how a lot of this stuff works on a physiological level. And so, having seen that show, then hearing that these people can disrupt your whole chakra alignment with their eyes, essentially, is like, first of all, I know it's true because your eyes are gateways. And so once you understand that your eyes are gateways, very powerful gateways, then you can actually see how someone can use that very powerful gateway to disrupt your whole aura, to disrupt your old connection. And you all saw that with me in real time. And so, this is just another tool in the toolbox. Again, like I always say, you got to have the right tool for every problem. You can't use a hammer, if everything is a nail when you're a hammer. You know what I mean? That's the Kanye West approach. What we want to do is we want to take the surgical approach. We want to literally remove what is bad, and then we want to literally add in what is good, and we want to repel. Oh, goodness. My apologies. We want to repel those things that people are sending to us, and we want to keep those things that are good. So, this is just some information to think about. Of course, go and do your own research, think about it, pray about it, ask your guardian angel, and then take the action that is necessary to protect yourself. Because you know, we are headed into a new era and a new age, and these Gentiles are going to get mad once they realize that their stuff is gone. So I definitely will be doing some more investigating on this topic, and as I get more information, of course I will pass it along to whoever can use it. So to the spirits who are here with us, you're invited to go in peace. To my beloved viewers, you're invited to be at peace, and always remember, the Most High is your peace. Shalom, everyone.